Welcome one and all back to the Game of Thrones mod. A couple of things to clear up before we dive in today. Number one, things are going to be probably slightly edited today because honestly we're in a little bit of a weird place where we're wildlings under the Iron Throne. We can't do wildling things, we can't go raiding, we can't manifest destiny, not until we get some sort of independence. We're basically just sitting around waiting for claims. The game is also quite slow because the Game of Thrones mod is very complicated, so you know, there's very little that we can get done even just kind of sitting around waiting. Be a lot of time to fill. So I will be editing this one very, very lightly today, at least until we can kind of get the ball rolling a little bit with independence so that we can take control of things a little bit more. Secondly, this was kind of a big debate in the comment section because we are part of the Skinchanger Society. Our character has been part of that since the beginning. I kind of briefly stopped mid yesterday's episode to try and find a little bit more information about this, find out what the hell is going on. So, after digging into it, it turns out someone was right in the comments. It's actually from the more Bloodlines mod rather than base game or anything like that. I looked into it, and it turns out it's all smoke and mirrors. There is actually no decision in it to travel to distant lands to tame exotic creatures. There is no communing with the old gods for powerful blessings. There is no learning the secrets of skin taming. And there is no gathering of the skin changes. There are, in fact, a total of 3 decisions in the entire Skinchanger Lodge. That's it. That's the entire content of this society. The first decision is to recruit a Skinchanger, which we have seen. We've had that before. So that's where you use this ability to summon someone to your court. The other 2 abilities, one is tame a mammoth, one is tame a unicorn, both of which you can only do if you have one of 2 specific bloodlines. The first bloodline is the bloodline Bran had, the winged wolf, I believe it was called. If we just go back to his character here, Bran the Broken, who has a better story. There he is. So only if you have this can you tame the unicorn or the mammoth. And the other bloodline is the current guy, the three-eyed crow, who's technically not supposed to be alive, but still is, because he has the green seer / great warg, as it's called in the files bloodline, which in turn allows him to get a mammoth or a unicorn, hence why he's got that. Now, you're probably wondering why doesn't he have the same amount of creatures Bran has? Well, unfortunately, like I said, it's all smoke and mirrors. There is no way to get the other creatures. The only way that you can get them is by childhood characters getting them, so childhood events, or characters you employ will randomly get the trait when they're created. Other than that, there is no way to get any of these fancy creatures. Another way Bran got the creatures is it's hard-coded. It's part of his story. Events will just fire, and it will give Bran a wolf. And then another event will fire in 6 months and give him an eagle. And then another 6 months will give him a dire wolf, and etc., etc., and the whale. So that's just basically it. It's all smoke and mirrors. It was all fake. So none of it is real. We've been truly bamboozled, which is very ironic given that the, Bran's storyline was supposed to be about the inability of randomness to play into your life. All about the fact that we are on this predetermined path and that destiny and everything else is irrelevant because you're always going to end up in the same place anyway, right? That was kind of his whole story. He knew all along where he was going to end up and he played all the pieces. And ironically, it was rigged from the start. He was always going to get those animals in that order regardless, and we never had a chance in the first place. So, this is where we have a choice here. We can abandon the skin changes because it is, as far as I can effectively tell, an unfinished, completely empty, completely hollow society that doesn't actually do anything at all. There's nothing to it. Alternatively, we can try and get one of the bloodlines. Now, I've also looked into it. There is no way to get either of those 2 bloodlines short of playing of those 2 characters. Unless we were to, say, get a donation from the three-eyed crow, and as you can see here, the bloodline is active, and it will be passed down. So perhaps we could maybe flip focus to, I don't know, seduction, and maybe we could jump his bones, and maybe his bones could jump us, and Babby could be formed with that bloodline. Who knows? I mean, I knows. It is possible at this point. Because it's the only way we can do anything with this society at all, and even then it would only let us get the mammoth and the unicorn, but that is cool enough as far as I'm concerned. Is that inheritable by bastards? No, it is not. I think there's another specific bloodline type that you need for it to be inheritable, right? Yeah, there you are. Oh, no, I've got it the other way around. It's actually specifically bastards cannot inherit. So things like this bloodline here, Blood of King Beyond the Wall, it's fine. There is none that quantifier doesn't exist. Bastards can inherit because it doesn't say otherwise. So for the three-eyed crow, He doesn't have that. So maybe let's give him a diddle. And why would our character do that? Well, maybe this is a vision from the gods. She is a green seer. She is a mystic. She can see the future. And if this plan works, that becomes our character's future. And that means that logically, she saw it happening. Therefore, her decision right now to try and seduce the three-eyed crow to produce a child that is capable of being the green seer leader of these people, if it happens, was objectively and arbitrarily the correct decision. Does that make sense? It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a paradox, okay? The only reason we're doing it is because we know it's going to happen if we do it. But I think that makes perfect sense. I mean, that literally happened in the TV show. That was Bran's entire story. And if you don't like that, well, I'm sorry. That's just the way these powers work. They've established that, right? So that's what we're going to do. That's exactly what we're going to do. She has seen the future, because she must have seen the future to know to do this in the first place. And I don't need to justify it any more than that, because it makes sense. I'm sorry. It just makes sense. So, a lot of you pointed out as well that we could go to war with these guys and take the land crossing. I just didn't want to do that, to be honest, because we're going to be marching through Northern Territory, and then we're going to march up through here, take a straight crossing. Whereas if we were to get boats up, we could bait them out, and then we could jump off the boats on there. Because attacking into, quite famously, or attacking across a straight crossing and then across another straight crossing is a terrible idea. Because if their troops retreat back, we're never going to get there. But with boats, we can get them to come over to us, and then we can just hop over and get them. So really, it was just kind of thinking ahead to how we're going to do it more so than... why we're going to do it more so than how we're going to do it. Anyway, someone said also double check that Eddard is... was it Eddard? Double check that his educator, very good point, thank you, good find. Make sure that his educator is still correct, because when we change some of the titles, that will have jumped around a little bit. Who are we going to get to educate you then, little Eddard? I mean, preferably... Why not, Mylara? She's got 2 wards, Isla and Gormir. We could educate him, but we are... I mean, he's a fantastic warrior. He has the potential to be the greatest warrior we're ever going to see. And I feel like we've got to give him to the current greatest warrior in the round to educate him. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Isla Stark, and we're going to say Isla Stark will educate instead. Because she's going to be probably trained in... What she got? Conscientious Idolizer. Stewardship, to be honest. With traits like that. I'm going to throw her to Magnus Steer, which will not only give a little bit of a kind of alliance bonus, and not literally, but of course, but we're sending it as effectively, you know, a token of goodwill. We're going to say to Magnus Steer, we trust you enough to look after this daughter, but of course we're not going to be able to fight against you because you have one of our family members in your court. We're not going to try and attack you or anything like that. It's what they do in the Game of Thrones world. That's just how it works. Well, and in real life too, I suppose. And then, well, not anymore. It'd be very bizarre if the Queen shipped off Charles to America to broker a peace. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say to her, educate Eddard, basically. Because she is, like, an incredible warrior. We're not going to see someone like her. She's not a very good combat character. She's no Brienne. But she has a military genius. She's our Hannibal. And she's going to educate little Eddard, and he's going to be an even better one. Alistar gets the focus faith. No. He wants to train her in the ways of the Thenn. No. We'll never allow her to turn into a savage. That's very cruel. Particularly as in the books, the Thenn are shown as having more of a feudal system than the other wildlings, but there we are. Our heir is now Mylara. Who do we want to vote for? I think... Why can't we vote for Eddard? We're already voting for Eddard. No one wants to vote for him. Or more specifically, more people want to vote for her. That's because he's a child. And when he's not a child anymore... There you go, -10. When he's not a child anymore, people will almost certainly vote for him. Your candidate score... Yeah, your candidate... but he's just not going to vote for me. Even though his candidate is worse, he's voting for himself. That makes sense, of course. They like her because she is a pious woman, a prestigious woman, a wildling, a soldier, good at martial, stewardship, diplomacy. Our character doesn't have any of those because he's just a baby. Well, I say he's a baby. He's 10 years old. But eventually he'll be very good. That could end up being Zealous. That would be nice. Zealous or Erudite would be fantastic because learning directly impacts their education in this. Hence why you pay money. But if If you ended up getting Frail, that would pretty much put the kibosh on him being a very good fighter almost immediately, right? That would completely screw it up. You're still proselytizing. Can we get a priest in? Because these Night's Watch territory, we're finding quite hard to convert over. In fact, this one became Faith of the Seven. Not even old gods and not even Beyond the Wall old gods, but Faith of the Seven. That's like a stronghold that we definitely don't need in our life. Let's see if we can hire a better priest. We could also build an observatory before we flip over to the diddle focus. 50 gold. She is a zealous mystic, and building an observatory to observe the stars, I think, is very appropriate. So we're going to do that. I think she would be into that, of course. Let's go ahead. Maybe recruiting a Skinchanger would actually be quite good. Yeah, that works pretty perfectly. And again, this is the only way you can actually get these traits. When the characters are generated, they'll spawn in with random companions. Oh, shit, no, I read his personal combat skill as learning. You're fucking terrible. Good God. You're going right in the ocean, my friend. Let's try that again. Oh. One of these must be true. Blank. I guess we've already got a Skinchanger, of course, is what that's trying to say. Well, let's go ahead and employ a new courtier. 5 piety, 12 gold. Ugh. Oh, God, she's bad. I'm going to see if we can just find someone before we throw any more money, because that's quite a big gamble for what is a lot of our money relative to how much we earn right now. You'll do. Umcon, join us. You will be much better at driving them out. The chance of us actually converting them over is, of course, very slim, because they're a reform religion and we're not. And the chance of us becoming a reform religion is impossible while we're under the Iron Throne, so that's something to worry about later, I suppose. Where is he? You can't become a priest. Why? Ice Riverman, Beyond the Wall All Gods. Why? Do you have to be female? No. How bizarre. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. Hang on, let's just see if we can find something else here. I'll just invite a few people. Maybe that guy wasn't eligible for some weird, bizarre reason. Maybe one of his traits is prohibitive. All of these people are better than what we've got. So we'll invite all of these people, see if any are then eligible. Ooh, there you go. Man, we've had that event like 3 or 4 times now. And that's because of the, there we go. So the reason for that is any of these buildings that have things like the copper mine or the forestry plantations, things added by, I don't know if it's a special buildings mod or Flamequeen. I think it's special buildings, though. Anyway, let's see what you can do. So this guy can. Okay, the blind priest. I like that. That's a cool bit of characterization. We can't convert them. We can't target them because they're reformed and we're not. The best that we can do is flip old gods to Beyond the Wall old gods. Man, how are we going to ever make this religion? So we can't do anything about Castle Black. Harnhome, we could build a temple, but bear in mind it's like 800 gold. Oh, it's 1,000 gold now. Jesus. The north is under House Barstark. We can claim Winterfell. It's a bit weird. I think we just need to sit and we wait for our Justicia to get that claim. Is there anyone better? I think it's very unlikely, but we'll have a look anyway. Oh my god, there is. Bran. Bran the Spymaster. Join us, Bran. I mean, what are we up to now? We might honestly have hit our cap. 36.83 goes up to 38.78, so it was slightly better. 2% increase. Was that worth it to piss someone off in our court? Probably not really. Everybody loves us. I mean, the whole council love us to bits. It's only our healer that doesn't like us so much. Why? Because we're different. He's a Stormlander, he's Faith of the Seven. That makes a lot of sense. Lady Paramount, the realm is in a state of war, and as such, your liege king, command you to provide men. No. Break free? Oh, it's such a gamble. She's not wrath. In fact, quite the opposite. Look, we know that if we go to war now, we're not going to win. She's patient. So now would be just completely the wrong time. We won't concern ourselves so that we can raid if we want to raid. Man, I think, given the amount of civil wars, given the amount of time we actually are quote-unquote independent, technically, I think today if we just sit here and save up for... he's back again, there you go. If we just sit here and save up for boats, I think... and there they are right there. I think it's going to pay for itself. And then if we can do the same thing here... Hang on, if we built boats in the Shadow Tower, they would have to meet up with our other fleets, they would have to travel all the way down through the Trident. No, because we can't navigate major rivers. Unless there's a sea crossing, which I think, as I recall correctly, there is somewhere, right? I thought there was one there, but I can't see it on the map visually. So certain places, yeah, like here, for example, between the God's Eye and Harrenhal, You can cross there even if you don't have river navigation. Well, you would be able to if it wasn't connected to a river, of course. Shit. So if we build boats on this side, it's basically pointless because they would have to... they'd have to go all the way down south of Dawn. We need like a Panama Canal. We need like a... What is it called? A Grey Water Watch. That's it. We need a Grey Water Watch Canal or something like that in the middle there in the lands of the Chronicler. That would be quite nice. Completely pointless then. Oh, well, let's hope that we can upgrade the shipyard. In fact, we could maybe build, if we really wanted to, we could build castle towns and then follow that up with more of the castle shipyards in that side. Might not be a terrible idea. Might be the only way we can reasonably get boats. I mean, it wouldn't hurt maybe to build some here too. Can we even build a castle town here? 'Cause we can. Castle town, castle shipyard again. I mean, it's a 440 gold investment for 10 ships. Those are expensive bloody ships, but they would bring in more money pretty fast. Alright, I guess I'll commit to the idea. It sounds a bit silly on paper, but I think it will genuinely work. The observatory is ready. It's with great anticipation that you're prepared to make your first hiccups, your first observations. Wow. I presume it's the same as the base game event, but we'll find out very shortly. Wow, this is horrible. It's all this cold northern weather. It's giving me hiccups. Lady Mylara again. It is a competition between those two. I mean, this is the problem with having three, well, two and kind of Lyanna. She wasn't great. Two incredibly good characters from Jon Snow. I mean, like I said, she is just an absolute powerhouse of a character. Erpin, little shitty Erpin, insists that I have to help him get an old hat to fit. A very futile task. He's too big for it now, and I've told him several times. No child tells me what to do. Or he gains willful. No, sod him. Erpin thinks I'm mean for not helping, even stuck his tongue out at me. Don't mess with Arya. Hell yeah, you 35-year-old lady. You taught that 6-year-old a lesson. I think we just went full Karen on that child. The Karen of the wildlings. I don't know that that's quite good. Your subject, Byron, was executed. Byron was a maester? By Chief Magorn. Yeah, I mean... Shouldn't have pissed him off. Might have started proselytizing or something like that. You're on thin ice, literally, coming up here to, particularly the Ice Bay Shelf, to work as a maester. I mean, it's not a job I'd want, honestly. Hello, Snella Riverblood. Let's not cross somebody called Snella Riverblood. 31 gold. Oh, no, I owe you nothing, Snella. Our character isn't generous. She's kind. But it would be a greater kindness to save up and invest in the people's cities. I'm sorry, I just think it makes sense. High Chief Beric Warghan has requested that Chief Khan Clanbreaker of the Great Ice River should be sworn to him. Should he? Absolutely he should not be. What the hell are you talking about? You are mad. You want a man who's nowhere near your domain? No, I'm impressed with vague promises. And for your good service to this realm, you will be rewarded in this life or the next, etc., etc., blah, blah, blah. What's that man's name? Richard Cockshaw. You with no children. Clearly not that Cockshaw. What a guy. Poor fella. Wait, hang on. Kingsguard. Podrick. Is Podrick still going? Court. Podrick is gone. No, he's not. He's still there. Podrick Payne. Let's mark him as special interest. And I'm also going to mark Robert Aaron. Because he's still alive. Those are the last two TV show characters I can think of. Somebody asked what happened to Varys. Spoilers for Season 8 of Game of Thrones. He was killed during the TV show. So, to their credit, they did say I'd blocked out Season 8. And, yeah, you're right. Now, what would she be interested in? Would she, as a mystic, as a zealous, green-seeing mystic, be interested in how the stars move, or would she be interested in finding out if there was something strange out there? I think both are relevant. I think they are. I mean, divination of the stars is obviously very traditionally a mystical thing to do, right? Simultaneously, is there something strange out there? Might be a more appropriate question, given that the realm was recently attacked by ice zombies. Would she be specifically interested in how the stars move? No, I don't think so. Is there something strange out there trying to see beyond the veil? I think it's far more appropriate for a character with green dreams. So we are going to go with that one. I would argue the top one has a better result if it is the same as the base game. So we'll just roll with this and see what happens, I think. We've got a very nice amount of gold there, but unfortunately not quite a dent in our rather ridiculous amount of ship debt that we're potentially in here. Yes, you have a lovely realm. Lady Paramount, yeah, the realm is in a state of war. I won't concern myself for now. And again, all this time, bear in mind, for about halfway through yesterday's episode, and of course up to now, we could have been raiding. We could have been non-stop raiding because we're not beholden to the Iron Throne laws while they're in a civil war. They're too busy to notice the wildlings, you know, going across the seas to raid. Why the hell would they care? And as long as those wars continue, as long as the realm keeps divided, I mean, even during this, right, if he gets those two wars to 99% and then a raid or a rebellion pops up, that would just continue on. So what's going on here? King Florian Rivers. Who is Florian Rivers? He's got 23,000 men. That actually could be quite a long war then. Going to war for his claim on the Iron Throne, and then defending against Archon Quiran the Sensual in Archon Araldo's invasion of the Southern Forest. Who the hell? Oh, it's some sort of Lorath civil war. How bizarre. You're attacking King Dennis of the Iron Throne. That's so strange. And I mean, I think the Iron Throne is honestly very much overextended. I really think it has. They've picked up Pentos, Bravos, Andalos. I thought they picked up Lorath, but I guess not. And they've really screwed themselves here, because look, I mean, Pentos is in Civil War, Bravos is in Civil War. This one is independent. I guess it just chose to be fair, they might just be neutral in the war currently. No, they are at war. Some of them are at war anyway. Either way, it's a complete mess. The realms are all divided. I mean, it's temporary, of course, but a complete mess, and it gives all these vassals, same as we'd had the opportunity every time, they've also had that opportunity for independence. A man claiming to be a lord who disappeared several years ago has found his way to my castle. He sings of children of the forest, and some say his songs are prophetic. Long lost but home again gives us nothing, but if we say he's finally found his way home, then we gain a man named Roderick. And why would we be cynical about it? We know children of the forest exist. There he is. Roderick the Clueless. Okay, maybe there's a reason to be cynical about it. It's Grey Eminence and it's Mystic. Okay, well, I mean, it's better than no one. Eddard Stark, little sweet Eddard. Unfortunately, Idolizer does count against his education there, but two positives and a negative is, if I remember, better slightly in terms of percentages. You got a higher chance to get a level 4 education from that than you do with just one positive. Obviously, the best outcome is 2 positive, right? Of course, we're going to go for that one, and we will spend. I mean, it's going to almost wipe out the treasury. But of course we'll do it. Take him up to 13 learning. And that, with the high learning and the good diplomacy he's got right now and what will be incredible Marshal, there you go, exactly what I was about to say, will be enough to push him back up to probably first place in the elections. Ideally, we want to do everything we can to keep him as high as possible, otherwise when we die, we're going to play as Mylara. Mylara is, what, in her 30s probably at this point, so it could get a little dangerous. Our physician is gone. I mean, we can just have a wildling as a healer. We don't even need a maester anymore. Why would we go for a maester? That's a southern thing for southern people. Observing the stars at night, you begin to sense some irregular movements. You also notice that the stars seem to appear and disappear at odd times. You need to study this more. There is a star that disappears when I look directly at it. Don't worry, it's probably just a UFO. I was going to say it's probably just a weather balloon, but to be honest, that would be even equally as horrifying in what is effectively the medieval times. Bran has been a little unable servant, and he wants a marriage. I should give him a marriage to a fine lady. Robin Graunt. Sure. She is a fine lady. There you go. You're welcome. The marriage to a fine lady matrilineally, by the way. Oh, 32 gold, thank you. Paying off some of that university debt, I see. And we do have ships right now, don't forget. We've got 10 ships. Oh, actually, they're still building, apparently. They're not quite done yet. Are we still working on... Oh, Jesus. 25 gold to Mylara. No, I'm sorry, Mylara. We're not charitable. She is literally just doing her job, I'm afraid. And we need this money for the good of other people. For the good of the realm. So, hang on. This is still regular colony, isn't it? Castle Black is finished. Eastwatch is finished. As soon as... it's kind of annoying, because as soon as the colony construction is finished... 11% chance yearly. Is that all? Yikes. As soon as that's finished, we could be focusing on using overseeing construction for exactly what it's intended for. Overseeing bloody constructions. I guess at this stage, this is a good time just to... Oh, God. I was going to say wait and see what happens. No, Bran. We know our destiny, and our destiny lies with him. Literally lies with him. What does Infirm do? Is that lower fertility? 30%. Oh, God, we're going to have to act fast. We're in the middle of the scholarship focus event chain, though. We can't flip over now. Would she flip over now if she's foreseen it in her future? Ah, man. We might not be even able to interact with him, so it could be... Oh, there you go. Winter's coming to an end. We might not even be able to interact with him. Bear that in mind. It could just all be a complete folly. A misleading dream or a misleading vision, or maybe a vision of the far distant future. Who knows? Castle shipyard is built. Nice. Okay. So we can raid with 1,000 troops. Or at least we will be able to when that reinforces. What do you need for castle? So for the next level of castle shipyard, we just need castle town 2. For that, we need private farms. Private farms 1. Private farms 1 is 75 gold. I think we'll invest into that. That'll bring in a little taxes. Ah. The research you conduct in your observatory at night is proving deeply fascinating. You can push your studies further, but you need to purchase more equipment to make it meaningful. Why not? Let's try and green see further than anybody before. We'll confront this guy, and that's literally the only thing we can do in this society. Oh, and the war ended. There you go. Well, we tried, but next time we're going to be ready to do a little raiding during the next civil war, right? Probably won't be long before the Iron Throne is like, actually, I've decided I want all of Essos, so let's just do an invasion on all the Dothraki. That war will go on for a while, and then we can do a lot of raiding. Like I said, it'll pay for itself. We just need to be a little patient with it, I think. Long before the endeavor to rebuild began, the Shadow Tower had a thriving harbour crammed with ships. But no more. Over the years, the harbour has fallen to ruin, silt and debris in the water, causing it to be unusable. Our stewards in the Shadow Tower insist they need more resources to dredge and rebuild the harbour, otherwise trade will be impossible. Must be done. What choice do we have? And I'm hoping that pushes the colony closer to completion. Even though it doesn't have a very kind of obvious, you know, immediate effect, like, oh, the colony's close to completion. I presume that's the case. You want us to mentor this guy? Sure. Okay. We do have an event in it, then. That's fair enough. Like I said, there are no decisions, but apparently they can send people to us for tutoring. That's fine. Chiefess Rowan has been very insistent about spending some time with me. She is very obsessed with that, isn't she? It's not nice to meet you, though, is it? We've had this about 6 times. I don't know her a favor. Being a good host was her duty. Yeah, it genuinely was. I'm not going to be bribed by her. A character might be kind, but she's also a master schemer. She knows. Oh, though, then again, she's also trusting. Oh, shit. Maybe next time, if that happens, we'll have to take it. Right, we're going to start training this child, then. Doin Weirbar, the Skinchanger sent to you, has finally arrived in Castle Black. He spent some time waiting for in the glade you have selected for the lessons. He's ready to receive your wisdom. 41% chance the lessons are a great success, 42% chance they go well, 13% chance they're difficult, or 4% chance they go badly. Oh, there you go, look at that. The time spent tutoring Doln? Is that Doln? I really can't tell with my... I play this in a window. Slightly scaled down because my monitor's bigger than 1080p, right? I think that's Doln in hindsight. The time he spent nurturing Doln went remarkably well. He spent many days and hours discussing the deeper secrets of skin changing and studying the magics and lore of the forest. Doln even managed to impart some of his own ideas for you, yielding fruitful new ideas and revelations. I've never had such a wise student. Literally, you've never had a student before. It's not that much of a compliment, Doln. 1 learning, 200 favor from the gods. We become close friends. Oh, that's quite nice. Shame we can't spend that favor on, you know, anything. Like, actually anything at all. Our advisor and our priest resigned. Oh, shit. I mean, that's annoying because the priest was doing some good work. Okay, new advisor then. Let's give it to someone who... doesn't like us or does like us. I mean, everybody likes us. Look at us. We're a beloved leader. Let's give it to just someone powerful then. We're not really going to gain much of a benefit from it, unfortunately. Giving it to someone just to try and please them. Ah! A husband and wife musician has arrived from Lys. Their performances range from vulgar satires to political servants and everything in between, including songs and poems of courtly love. I hope they know Seasons of My Love, because we have the kind trait, and we gain 1 intrigue. How very strange. How very random. If you could hurry up and do whatever it is you're doing with that star there, we can move on to the diddle focus and try and make a move on the old man. Our friend Gwen comes to see us. She says, I'm worried. I've heard that you're spending late nights staring at the sky, speaking in odd riddles and entertaining heretical notions about the cosmos. I would ask you stop. No. There are strange things out there, Gwen, and she needs to see them. I hope she doesn't get... oh, God. Brand syndrome. I hope she doesn't get Brand syndrome and go nuts. My friend became aghast when I told him that I had sent the miller's boy to a nearby city with the finest stallion. You will never see that horse again, he said, utterly convinced. But he was wrong, of course. Gained 15 piety, and that is because we're trusting. That's because we're a trusting character. I need to start playing her a bit more strictly, I think, based on her traits, but it's really difficult to justify that, given that she's also a master schemer. How can you be a master schemer and simultaneously trusting and honest? She must be a real friggin' master schemer for that. Only surrounding herself with people that she knows she can trust, if that is the case. It's kind of a contradictory combo there. Oh, this man got his head kicked in by somebody while investigating investigating a plot. Dear Lady Paramount, I've learned there are certain factions within the realm working to undermine my rule. It's not us. That's an act of desperation. To be honest, the poor guy is probably in a lot of trouble right now. There's been how many kings in the past few years? What a mess. Is he a particularly beloved king? Let's have a look at him, see how he's getting on. He's a knight. He's just a very kind of meathead character. Plain, sturdy, knight. He's charitable, he's kind, he's gregarious, but he's content. You know, he's just a kind of very average king. Very unthreatening king, so I imagine he's quite well liked. Yeah, he is quite well liked in the grand scheme of things. The Baratheons love him. Robert Arryn there loves him. The King of Norvos loves him. What the hell is going on there? Priest of Cohort. Cohort worship the black goat, so he's got a big goat skull on his head. Is that a bit weird? If you worship a goat, you get a goat skull on your head? I mean, it's no weirder, I suppose, than if you're Christian wearing a crucifix, right? Okay, fair enough. You carry on, Priest Salalo. You carry on, my man. That's on you. What can we do? We can go out. Yes. Okay, this is a good event. What would she do? She wouldn't say it's not safe enough to go outside without a guard. She's trusting. She's kind. She's kind. She's humble. Do any of these traits really correlate to, do these really correlate to any of these decisions? I think because she's kind. What's the smell I have to find out? She is a chunker. Maybe she'd be interested in the delicious meals. And I'm not going to lie, that would be me. Oh, it's the bloody alchemist again, for Christ's sake. Look at your wares. Let's have a look at your wares. Of some very special items. A man like you will surely be interested in them, so you need your eyes checking. I will buy this blue wine, Shade of Evening. You need to be mystic to use that, but it gives +2 learning, and we are a mystic. So, I mean, there's that. Ruby looks interesting. Melisandre's Ruby. 250 gold, though. Jesus, that could pay for some boats. What does it do? If we buy that, we're 100 gold in debt. She's not charitable. She's not greedy. She is a mystic, and this man's got mystic items. I mean, I could justify buying some of this fancy stuff. Melisandre's Ruby. Should we buy it? Should we see what it does? I think we've got to do something, right? Let's take a gamble. Otherwise, what we're going to do is sit here for ages and... Oh, he's gone. Robert Arryn died of depression. And that means that the only person... Oh, because his wife died. He got sad. Oh, that's quite sad. Who owns House Arryn now? Robin Arryn. Is that... Horton of Gull Hall? Oh, a distant cousin of his. In the books, it becomes House Harding, right? That takes over. Like a literal cousin of... was it like matrilineal cousin? I don't remember or is it like a sister's son? I don't remember the way it works. Anyway, Harold Harding, I think, in the books takes over the Vale, if I remember correctly. Anyway, what's our Ruby do? I mean, we could sit, like I was saying, and wait for ships to build, and that's the sensible, boring option. She's a mystic. Let's find out what we can do with it. You need to be a red priest. Oh, no, hang on. Or 12 learning. No, you have to be both. Wait, really? I can't believe you've done this. Intrigue +3, health +1, sex appeal +10. Has to have the following activation conditions: learning 12 and the trait red priest. Why on earth would you ever sell it to us, given that player characters can't become red priests? One moment, please. Oh, that's crazy. Look at that. I must have misread it. It's not that you need to have 12 learning and to be a red priest, which is literally impossible for any player character that's making purchasing that artifact completely worthless. No, no, no. It's that you have to be either that or have 16 learning and then be some sort of magical character. So that, you know, red priests know how to use it inherently. They're trained how to use it. But if you're really smart, you can just figure it out. Because that makes way more sense. Wow, that's crazy. And that will almost certainly become active when we unpause. It's weird that they didn't become active when we first get it. I can't ever explain why. The studies that you have conducted in your observatory have convinced you there are many strange things beyond the known cosmos. There are few sources and no one to share the knowledge with you, however, but you have heard rumors of a strange maester at the Citadel who is rumored to possess vast knowledge of the weird. I'll go and see him. Probably enjoys watching catgirls in a cave worshipping Cthulhu. Private farms. No, he's gone. Pod's gone. And I think with that, that is the end of the series generation of characters. They're all gone. Was there any young characters? I mean, the youngest character I think in the show was Gilly's baby, but Gilly's baby was dead as dicks. Or more specifically, never existed in this save whatsoever. What about, like, Miss Sunday? Is there a possibility she's still alive? I don't know how the hell you're surviving down there. Maybe she was never sent to North at all? It's quite possible she left. Wow, I think it's probably fairly safe to say at this point, Pod was the last of the old guard. Literally, the King's Guard. And now they're gone. That's it. TV show over. Maybe Arya's out there. Original Arya Stark is out there kicking along. How old would she be at this point? Like, he was 61 when he died. And how long ago was that? 8 years ago. How old was Arya when she disappeared? Let's see if I can track her down here. Eddard. And then Arya Stark disappeared. 3505. Jesus. So she would be... What was that? 47 years ago? Please don't check my maths. Okay? It's 1 a.m. It's also 35.3 degrees C in this room right now. Oh, so she'd be like in her 60s or something like that. I lost track of the numbers. Because I introduced other unrelated numbers in the form of temperature. And it completely threw me off. She could feasibly still be alive. That's the point. Maybe she'll come back. Who knows? Carl and Lord of the Great Ice River. Congratulations, my friend. You're the new... Oh, Seneschal. No. We need someone good at... What the hell is this? Mistress Cryani's invasion of Pentos. Ah. Wait. Mir is invading Pentos. I thought they were both under the Iron Throne. No, they never had Mir, did they? They had Pentos, Lorath, Norvos, Andalos, Bravos, Pentos, but not Mir. They never went that far south, at least not yet. Oh my god, have they taken out the Roinar? They've moved into the Roinar. This man is mad. Especially taking Dagger Lake. You want some stinky buildings filled with grayscale, my man. That's all yours. You enjoy. Just keep that shit away from us. Ah, what a weird guy. I've never seen such an aggressive Iron Throne before. They're just non-stop. Ridiculous. Who's the best... Oh, Jesus. Stewardship character that can join us? 14. Oh, Lord. Let's go... Diplorange, yes. Ruler, no. Let's see if we can convince someone. My good friend Janine Go has no nose. How does he smell? Terrible. You'd set me up for that one. Wow, Jesus. Diplorange, yes. Join court. It's a shame that there's still no filter. It's unfortunately not one of those things that's possible to mod in either. It's a shame that there's no filter that's like, is it possible to bribe this person to join our court? You know, are they a maybe? Join court, maybe. That would be good. But not there. It's a real shame that was just never added, because that would be so handy. I hate this child, I've decided. This 11-year-old, fuck him. Hate him. Get out of here, Stefan. Don't know why she randomly hates that child. Oh, let's have a look in the glass candle. Using knowledge of sorcery and the higher mysteries, you've divined some useful knowledge from the glass candle. Amongst the bright shimmering light and darkness, you have found that Lord Soren shivers to kill Lord Jon. My son? Soren wants to kill Jon. Soren, what the fuck? Why? Oh dear, Lord Soren. Oh dear. 95%. I think that's a gamble worth taking. Get in my prison. You tried to kill my son, and we saw it with the old god's magic. Now we could ransom him for 70 gold. We pay off our debt. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Look, it's about sending a message. He was planning the murder. Nobody knew about it. The plot wasn't unveiled. We saw it through magic. And it's about sending a message. He's not going to do that again. And if he does do it... Oh, that's an odd pop-up. If he does do it again, I'll assassinate him. Well, I think we're... by assassinate him, I think we're on the grounds to, like, full-on execute him at that point. I think we're more than allowed. On the subject, the Necronomicon. You arrive at the abode of strange old Master Valen. After some persuasion, he invites you in. You speak at length about the tale of Archmaester Tothma and knew many things of the strange spheres beyond and talking beings that are not human. You find out that Tothma in the Round wrote a book called the Necronomicon, in which he recorded strange and ungodly truths. Valen says that he is impressed by your sincerity and desire for knowledge, and he can sell you a copy of the book. He says to beware, however, too much intense study of the Necronomicon can drive readers insane. A lot of people suggested the idea that because Jon was so content and rested on his laurels, that Arya would double down. Mystic, zealous, leader of a wildling horde. She would double down and she'd have a point to prove. And you know what? I think she'd go to any length to do it. Including driving this round into staggering amounts of debt. Well, that's 70 gold off, thank you. And it's also, I suppose, just kind of a little bit of a lore tidbit, lore aside. There's a lot of like, it's obvious George R. R. Martin was very heavily inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, a lot of the stuff that happens. Like, for example, the Drowned God and the Black Stones that are across the world and the monoliths and the pillars. But in the Game of Thrones lore book, I watched an interview where he said that they wanted him to do the world book and they'd done the map all the way over to Ashai. But he never talked about kind of the lands around that. There was a lot of blank spaces, so he just filled them in with basically placeholder names, right? So he gave them like Carcosa, which is from, you know, like the H.P. Lovecraft universe. And actually, if you look at the map over here, it does exist somewhere. I think actually this bit here, normally you can't. Normally Carcosa is like not somewhere that you can see in the game, but like the Bloodless Men and the Boneless Men and stuff like that. Kadath is another one. Bone Town, the Cannibal Sands. But then he kind of, what's the word? Retconned it effectively to say that, you know, it's kind of like Here Be Dragon style stuff. Like Game of Thrones is written from the perspective of the people in Westeros, so just as in Europe, they thought there was all sorts of magic happening in the rest of the medieval world, they probably think that too. It probably turns out they're very nice, normal people over in Bone Town. Maybe a little bit too nice with the name Bone Town. With the running of the realm becoming ruinously expensive, the treasurer is becoming exhausted. Lord Treasurer and Mylara is suggesting we raise a new higher tax from the lords. This will be seen as harsh and punitive. 15 tyranny. No, she would not do that. She's kind. She wouldn't do it. This is her debt. Lady Paramount Arya Stark. To assuage any doubts that I am the rightful king of Wallano, I will hereby adopt the arms of my ancestor, Zalta Quo. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Who are you? Where are you from? I've never heard of this land before in my life. I wonder what artifact he has. There's like a shitload of boats and that. Oh, a feather cloak. That's cool. Oh, the debt. Oh, what have I done? We could have built so many boats with that. Oh, Jesus. Well, let's go ahead and unlike some of these characters then, because some of these are irrelevant now. You're irrelevant. Alba Waxer, the Kingsguard. I love the fact that we can see the Kingsguard randomly fighting in Mir. That's very, very normal things that are going on. Magorn, I'm sorry, I don't remember who you are. Little Eddard is still relevant. And then Robin Arryn is irrelevant, because we were interested in the original. And that special interest just kind of carried over to the next character with that title, because more or less it's marking like a title, a special interest in the actual character. Well, I will admit, we didn't exactly get very far with manifesting destiny and plowing on with our lives. All we've done is get an incredible amount of debt, a fancy necklace, and a fancy book. But she has all the potential to be one of the greatest greens he has ever seen. There you go, the ruby's active now. At least when we equip it, it will be. Intrigue +3, health +1, sex appeal +10. There you go. A great ruby gemstone belongs to Melisandre of Ashai, and it would make sense that... What happened to Melisandre? She disappeared, didn't she? She went back to Ashai, or she went back east after Daenerys went nuts? Oh, no, after the Battle of Winterfell, right? I don't remember. I put it all out of my head for fairly obvious reasons. But hey, we've got that now. And we've got the Necronomicon. Her learning is up to 28. She's a goddamn genius. She is very much in touch with the old gods. She knows the many secrets. But what's she going to do with it? That's the question. Oh, man, it would be... I mean, the time is ticking to be able to swap over and have a babby with old... with the old man. We're going to run out of time on that if we don't act soon. So we can do something about that now. Maybe try and... sway him? We can clearly interact with him. Send him a gift. We can't do that because we can't afford it. Interesting. I wonder if because he's technically landless and doesn't have a physical location, whether that will have any effect. Working in an observatory, you're often disturbed by strange noises and uncannily large insects carrying away smaller pieces of equipment and odd human-like figures spying on you and then disappearing into the night before you can confront them. You're really struggling to maintain concentration to get anything done. I must focus. She's stressed. It's her. Don't you die on me. Oh my god, we've barely got anywhere. How's that arc coming along? Honourable. Erudite rather than frail. Massive. Honourable. Honest. Not ideal. Trained fighter though. Marshal +2. Kind of hoping we can get a bit more training into him. We can force him to train. Oh! By forcing my son to fight, I made him a better man. Oh my god, it worked. He's up to skilled fighter. Holy shit. He's got willful. I mean, 3 out of 4 of those are good, and the bad one isn't even that bad. Stubborn isn't necessarily that bad. Ambitious, brave, authoritative. Ambitious and brave would be massive. Hard to say which would be better in that situation. Ambitious being the flat stat boost, but brave being much more relevant to leading armies in personal combat, etc., etc. Gives you new decisions and that type of thing. Sayrilla Havadar has successfully hatched a dragon and named it Daymax. Good for her. Good for her. I don't know why you named your dragon after a very outdated video format, but there you are. Carlon. Carlon, my man, join me. Carlon was pretty terrible for what I remember, but it's better to have someone terrible than nobody at this stage. While the debt's about to be paid off, we are almost done. I'm quietly hoping that by the end of today, which to be honest is any time now, we can crack out the final part of this event chain. Because I think there's like 1 more or 2 more events to go. You can delve deeper and become a lunatic, at which point that's kind of it. The problem is, for us especially, it normally gives tech points, and there is no technological advancement in Westeros. It's stagnated. So I wonder what we get from this. Do we even get anything valuable from this? I wonder if it'll give us an artifact or something to make up for it, because otherwise there's no point. Oh my god, he's dead. Was he assassinated? Died of poor health. Poor health? Maybe he had a modifier, because the modifiers are cleared when they die. Maybe he, like, got into a lot of battlefield duels and had a bunch of stacking injuries or something like that. He's dead? Who's the King of the Iron Throne now? Edmund Tully II. A dense, plain man. Oh, shit. Why did they elect him? Ismane Baratheon. Her sister is the Lady Paramount. That's Gendry's granddaughter. Oh, God. So, actually, he's being propped up by House Baratheon. What a play. And his daughter's a Baratheon. Have they actually... No way. Bobby B has done it. He's bought it back. What a long-term play. The Baratheons are going to end up back on the Iron Throne. An idiot, weak, plain Baratheon. Holy crap. Curse his name. Curse him. We're at that point now. Curse the lot of them. A second we get the opportunity, it's independence for the wildlings. We've actually not lost many of our troops, which is why I'm happy to, again, be a bit more patient. Why did the realm splinter into 1,000 pieces? We'll probably get notifications in a second telling us about that. Or we go raiding with our boats. Wait, we got a load of gold. The debt's paid off. How many ships have we got? 1. 1? 1 ship? We're supposed to have 10. But they haven't reinforced yet. They're just so bloody slow on the reinforcement rate. Oh, for Christ's sake. We got 2. Because it's like 1.8 ships. We could go raiding with 200 men. No, I think I'm alright. We'd be able to get a little bit of gold from that, but that's so bloody dangerous. We'll invest into... I guess we'll just keep investing into Eastwatch, right? It's part of our direct domain. All we need is the Castle Town upgrade. 180 gives us another +2 tax. That's massive. And then we go for the Castle Shipyard for another +10 galleys. Oh, well, we're back in the Iron Throne anyway, so, you know, really counting the chickens there. Never mind. Come on, give us the final event. Look at how slow it's running. Oh, Jesus, there it is. Delve deeper. I just don't think there's any benefit to it, but she's got this kind of learning aspect to her. She's a green seer. She wants to find out the truth. She's a mystic. This is right up her alley. There's no benefit to this at all, but let's play the character. She did not become a lunatic, for better or for worse. Oh, the game is giving up on me. Stay strong. We've been playing for 48 frigging years. What I will do in between some episodes is I'll tidy things up a little bit and try and keep things running a bit more smoothly, because this is, I would say almost borderline unplayably slow. It's moving almost in real time at this point. This will be the longest CK2 series anyone has ever done in their entire life, particularly because I try not to edit too much on this channel because I quite simply don't have the time. This is not ideal, is it? Holy shit. So in the Game of Thrones mod, normally the Mega War system, which is this system right now, though it does add a lot of diplomatic complexity, does add a lot of complexity, full stop. But the slavery systems can be really intense, but luckily you can disable it with a game rule. So I'll try that first, see if we can get some more speed out of this, because this is very, very silly at this stage. But you know what? I think we'll leave it there for today. And I think I'll get on with that and see if I can strip out a few events here and there, take a few things apart, try and speed it up as best as possible, because there's a lot of stuff dragging us down here. It'd be a real shame for this to be the next 500 episodes at the rate we're going. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, I see. They vassalized them. Oh, sorry, not that. Wait, no, the Dothraki conquered the mountains. What are they called? The Bone Mountains. Oh, shit. Well, I've never seen that happen before. You got Jon Snow versus Dothraki. That'll be interesting. Anyway, sorry. Let's leave it there. I'll see what I can do to patch it. I would hate to kill this off early, because it's fun, but it's bloody slow. And I feel like the slowness is really detracting away from a lot of the kind of story development, because it's so slow-paced. Let's see how it goes. Let me see if I can fix it. And then we'll have a more serious discussion about whether or not this is feasible to carry on with. I feel like some of these mods are a lot more broken than, or more specifically, haven't aged too well. So, let's see how it goes. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Stay with it. Stay strong. It'll be back soon.